Hello guys, welcome back. Now we'll type a simple Java code. Now this code, the main aim for this code will be to print hello, right? Now when you say we want to print hello, so now we can see we have an output called as print hello. But what we need is, we don't want to type every time hello hello hello. What we need is, when you run a code, when you run a software, that output the software should give you is hello. So for that we have to instruct our computer that I need a output called as hello, right? So whenever you want to instruct your computer, you have to write some code which will be understandable to your computer. So now computer basically don't understand English language, it understand only binary digit, right? So you need to do something, you need to write some programming, you have to use some programming language to instruct your computer to print hello. Now for this you have to use some particular type of keywords, right? So whenever you work with any programming language, you have to work with some keywords. So now whenever you work with Java code, now remember the steps. Before starting any code, make sure you save the file. It's because when you type a code and suddenly something happened with your computer, everything vanished, right? So make sure you save some code, you save your file before running it. So what we can do is, I will use my let me create one more drive here, a folder called as Java. I already have a folder. Let's name it as Java Tools. Okay, and in this folder I will name this file as first code.java. Now whenever you create a Java file, make sure you save it in .java file. Okay, so as you know, you might be using C language, so you have to store it as .c. Whenever you work with C++, you have to say cpp, and in Java you have to say .java. Now this is your file, right? So we have already saved it. So whenever you want to type this code, now what we need to do is, we need to just print hello, right? Now when you want to print hello, now in Java you have to use, whenever you work with something, whenever you want a specific task to be completed, you need methods, right? So whenever you talk about methods, let me just minimize. Yeah. So whenever you talk about methods, so to print content in Java, you need a method called as print. So print is a method. Okay, and we want to print hello, right? Now hello is a string. String means it's like a normal string literal, so it's not a keyword. So since it's not a keyword, you have to save it in, or you have to quote it in double quotes. So now we have to print, right? Now Java is a purely object oriented language, and whenever you want to say you want to print something, you need method, right? And this method belongs to some object. Now you will not find methods, in global space. You will find methods in particular object. So the object where we will find print is called as out object. Now in out object you have a print method. Now this out object is a inbuilt method, which is we can say it's pre-built method. Sorry, pre-built object. So it is saved in a class called as system. So system is a class in which you have a object called as out. In this out object you have a method called as print. So print, we are printing hello. Now that's right? We have done with our task. But let's suppose when you compile this code, after compilation you have to run a code, right? When you run this code, your code will run on JVM. And when you talk about JVM always accept Java application. And whenever you talk about JVM, it will ask you for the function or a method. The default method it will ask you for is called as a main method. So whenever you talk about execution of a code on JVM, it needs a main method. It means you have to enclose this statement in a main method. Now when you talk about main method, you have to specify main. Now as you know, main will do some work for us, right? Whenever we talk about methods are there to work, and it will give you some output. Now main says I will do your work, but I want some parameters. So it will ask you for a string array. Not exactly array means we will see in subsequent tutorials, but time being, main method will ask you for a string array. Now since all methods will return something and this main method will return a null value, so we have to say void. Okay, now whenever we talk about Java language, you have to work with objects, right? Now in object-oriented programming, methods are of two types. First method type is static method, second is non-static method. Now exactly what static and non-static means we will see in subsequent tutorials, but time being, remember methods are of two types, static and non-static. Whenever we talk about static, static belongs to class, okay, and non-static belongs to object. Okay, but what we need is we need a main function which will belongs to a class, not an object. Why it's not an object, we will see later. So we need a static method, static main method, and I want to access this main method from everywhere, so we have to specify public. So this public static void main, in brackets you have to specify string array, and then system.out.println. Okay, that's it. Now the problem is, whenever we talk about Java says everything should be in a class. So if you want to do something, you need to create a class, and we will name it as, we will say first code. Now again, it's a convention that your file name should be same as class name. So class name is same as file name, right? Now we will use some indentation. Now it is called an indentation because you have to specify proper format. So we have used indentation. Okay, now that's it. We have typed our code, right? Now next we have to compile this code. Now to compile this code, we can compile a code in CMD, so in command prompt. Now in this, let me just increase the font. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to type a code here. So like, sorry, we need to compile this code. Now to compile this code, you remember I have saved this file in my D drive, and currently I'm in C drive, right? So I have to move towards D drive. So to move to D drive, we have to say D, and we have a folder called as Java tunes. So we have Java tunes. Now to compile, to check, we have a file. Yes, we have a file called as first code. Okay. Now to compile this file, we have to use something like Java C. Now you can see that we have, when I say Java C and when I say enter, the thing is Java C is not recognized because Java C is stored in a bin folder, right? So we will find Java C here. So what we need to do is we need to pick up that file from C drive to D drive, and to do this we have to specify a path for it. So we have to say set path, and in this set path we have to specify the whole path. So it is in C drive, program files, it's Java, JDK and bin. So we have set the path, right? So whenever you want to work with Java code, you have to set the path, and then now we can see if I say Java C, I'm getting some list. I will be getting some list. Yeah, I got the list. So if you get this list, it means Java C is working now. So to compile this code, we have to say Java C and first code.java, enter. It's compiling, it will take some time. Yeah, so it's compiled. Now to run this code, what we do is we have to say Java. So this specifies JVM. So Java space, and you have to mention the class name. This time you don't have to use a file name. When you compile a code, you have to use file name. When you run this code, you have to use class name. So class name is first code. Enter, and you can see we have an output called as hello. So simple, right? So this is your first code, and remaining part we'll see in next session. Thank you so much.